Good evening. My name is Rhea Varma and I am a student currently studying in 12th grade. Today I will be presenting my project Sahyog, a student-led lending system designed to address financial gaps that directly affect the people who form the backbone of our schools, the support staff. The initiative is both a social and an educational experiment. It provides affordable credit to those who often lack access to it, while giving students a chance to develop leadership and responsibility through real-world problem solving. Across India, research shows that around 40% of people borrow outside the formal financial system. This is an average, but it's large enough to demonstrate just how many families are excluded from banks and regulated lenders. When almost half the population cannot turn to banks, they are forced into less secure arrangements. The real concern is not only the lack of access, but also the consequences. Borrowing without protection means that people can be charged whatever interest the lender demands, with no recourse if the terms become exploitative. It highlights a gap between formal financial policy and the lived reality of millions of ordinary families. And this challenge doesn't stop with individuals. As Professor R. Vadinathan of IIM Bangalore has pointed out, between 85 and 90% of Indian businesses also do not depend on formal financial institutions. Think about what that means. Even companies, which we often assume to be structured and financially literate, are relying on informal arrangements to survive. This shows us that financial exclusion is not a fringe problem. It is woven deeply into the structure of our economy. If both households and businesses are bypassing banks, then clearly the formal system has failed to be inclusive. SIOG was designed to respond to this very gap, but at a scale that we as students can manage, starting right within our schools. Our mission is multi layered. On the most basic level, it is to provide fair and affordable loans to support staff who are often the first to be excluded by banks. But beyond simply providing credit, the idea is to shield staff from the harsh alternatives moneylenders, unregulated lenders, or debt that spirals out of control. At the same time, Sayog is also an educational experiment. It gives students the opportunity to learn responsibility, empathy, and financial management by running a project that has real consequences for people's lives. And crucially, Sayog is not for profit. Any earnings we generate are channeled back into community welfare, making the system self sustaining and ethical. When staff members repay their loans, the small amount of interest collected is reinvested entirely for community benefit. This serves several purposes. First, it builds resilience into the system by covering defaults, so that one person's inability to repay doesn't collapse the entire project. Second, it provides scholarships for the children of staff, recognizing education as a way out of generational financial stress. Third, it creates a safety net for medical emergencies, which are often the very events that push families into debt in the first place. Fourth, it ensures that children of staff can access educational materials like books and stationery. And finally, it allows us to show appreciation through festive gifts, small gestures that remind staff that they are valued members of the community. In short, the interest becomes a tool for building solidarity, not profit. The mechanics of Sayog are deliberately simple, but built with safeguards. At the start of the school year, students contribute small amounts of their pocket money, which are pooled together. These funds are kept in a dedicated bank account, separate from any other school money, to ensure absolute transparency. A team of student volunteers then promotes the initiative, explains it to the wider student body, and helps staff understand that this is a genuine, safe option for credit. When a staff member applies for a loan, the student body collectively assesses the need to ensure that funds are being used responsibly and at the right time. Repayments happen through small deductions from salaries, structured as EMIs. Meanwhile, a teacher or senior staff member oversees the entire process, checking records every month. This ensures that students gain real responsibility but within a framework of accountability. The loan structure is straightforward so that it is easy to understand for everyone involved. Any member of the support staff can request a loan of up to 20,000 rupees, and repayments are divided into 10 installments. The interest charged is very modest, 20 rupees on every 500 rupees of EMI, which works out to roughly 8% annually. To put this in perspective, a 10,000 rupee loan requires 10 monthly payments of 1,040 rupees each. At the end, the borrower has paid 10,400 rupees, meaning that just 400 rupees extra was taken across the year. That additional amount is what sustains the system, feeding back into scholarships, emergency funds, and gifts for the staff. Compared to moneylenders or payday loans, this is both affordable and humane. A critical question for any project like this is whether it can survive beyond its first year. Sahyog has been designed with community in mind. Each year, the corpus is replenished through fresh student contributions, which ensures that funds never dry up. Leadership is rotated annually under the prefect body, giving new students a chance to learn and carry the project forward. But the vision doesn't stop with a single school. The model is simple enough that it can be adopted in other institutions. If expanded, Sahyog would become a movement of student led financial inclusion, multiplying its impact far beyond one community. Several important questions often come up. Why not make the loans interest free? It may sound kinder to eliminate interest altogether, but in practice, charging a small rate serves two purposes. It creates a sense of responsibility. Borrowers know they must repay, and students learn the reality of lending. More importantly, the interest funds scholarships, emergencies, and community welfare. Without it, the project would not be sustainable. Interest free loans may also attract a large number of borrowers, making securing adequate funds incredibly difficult. Additionally, a higher rate of defaulting will be observed on interest free loans. Why set the interest rate at 8%? The figure is not random. At 8% annually, repayments remain affordable for staff, far lower than informal lenders, while also generating just enough to cover risks and fund welfare activities. It balances fairness with sustainability. What happens if a borrower quits their job before loan repayment? The risk is real, and that is why EMIs are deducted directly from salaries. If someone leaves, the system first attempts to recover what is due. If repayment is incomplete, the corpus absorbs the shortfall, ensuring the system does not collapse. What if the student body makes errors in bookkeeping? Since this is a learning initiative, mistakes are possible. To prevent serious issues, records are checked monthly by a teacher or senior staff member. This mentorship ensures that errors are corrected quickly while students still learn the responsibility of managing real money. Can funds be misused or siphoned off? The answer is no, because all money is stored in a dedicated account, with every transaction recorded and reviewed. Transparency is central to the project. By making records public within the school, trust is maintained and misuse is prevented. Thank you. In conclusion, Sahyog is not just about lending money, it is about building a culture of fairness, responsibility, and solidarity. It addresses a systemic financial gap at the community level, protects staff from exploitation, and teaches students the skills and values needed to be responsible citizens. It is a small initiative, but one with the potential to grow into something much larger. By proving that students can lead meaningful social change, Sahyog offers a model that is both practical and inspiring.